everyone, how's it going? Um, Crystal Anger here with Artistic Chris, and I'm coming live tonight to tell you some stuff and show you a couple things. So, one is going to be when the next two free virtual paint nights will be and what we are painting. Really by your choice, because I always put out what is it called? Like a, I don't even know. Like a choice. So two of those, and then kind of like a vote, I guess. And then I'm also going to show you two easy ways to stencil letters onto wood. So when I do my paint nights, like in person, I always have two options. So one is a free hand paint night where I tell you a step by step and you just follow along and then you end up with a finished product. The second is a stenciled painting, which you pick ahead of time. So it could be like a quote on wood or it could be a picture that can also be painted with like a little saying. So um, those are the two things that I usually offer when I do offer a paint night. So that would be for in-home paint parties, which aren't happening right now, but or even when I team up with restaurants, sometimes we give a couple options. Usually I like to stick with one or the other only because if I'm explaining a freehand painting, then it's hard for me to show everyone how to stencil painting. So tonight I'm going to show you what would happen if you picked a stenciled painting and kind of how two easy ways you can do it. So even if you're at home and you want to, oh, hi, Christine. Hi, Nancy. A poll. Thank you, Nancy. This is called a poll. um, so I'm just going to show you two easy ways if you're at home and you want to do this, or if you just want to try to attempt your own sign. So first I'm going to start with, I gave three options for the future paint nights. So I ended up painting two of them because two were pretty close in votes. So I thought instead of just doing one, I would paint both and just do both two different nights. So we had this option here, which I hope you can see that okay. So there's that option. And then we had this one, which, like I said, these were so close. And I love them both too. So instead of having to choose, I thought I could just do both. So then there's that one there. So our first first virtual paint party will be this one. This had the most votes, I think, with 20 something. And I'm just looking at the date here. So that we will do Tuesday night. That's the 16th of June at 6:30. I'll come on and we'll do this one here. Now this is a cool painting because only the background is done with paintbrushes. The rest is actually painted with Q-tips. So it's pretty cool. And it's just fun to do. I really enjoy doing this one. And then this one here, which I'll come on and put a supply list up and I will show you all the supplies and colors that you need to paint both of these, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I don't have that set up, but and then for this one here, we are going to paint this one. It will be a free virtual paint party on the 25th of June, which is a Thursday night. That will also be at 6:30. Both of these paintings will be replayed. So if you like to just watch and then you like to do it after, you can take your time. Or if you want to join me and paint with me the same night, then that would be awesome. Either way, it will be up for you. And even if you want to grab a couple close friends that you've had over already or family members, you want to join in on the fun, you can all watch from the same phone. Hold on, there's something on my phone. It's driving me nuts here. Okay, so now what I have here is I'm working on an order for a 4-foot sign that is, I believe 7 inches by 4 feet, 48 inches. So this is what it looks like here. It's kind of like the rustic white wood look. And I have my stencils laid out on it. Unfortunately, the way this is, you can't see the whole sign because it's huge. But this would be one section of the stencil. So what I did was I created these stencils on Microsoft Works, which I could make a video to show you guys how to do that, but I can't really do that live. Kind of has to be like a screen inside a screen so you could really get the full effect. But I create these stencils to size for whatever sign I am working on. And I know a lot of people have Cricuts, which can do this too. And then they also have silhouettes and different computer programs that can do this. But for me, this was the cheapest, easiest way to start out. This is how I started out. I could probably do a Cricut now, but it's kind of like I started out this way, and I kind of like it. It's pretty simple, and you can do this. Like I said, it would cost you the ink and the paper at home, so, and just your time. So, anyways, two easy ways to get these letters onto the wood so you can paint them is, one method I use is carbon paper. This has its pros and cons, just like anything does. The pros to this are when you put it on, you're going to see it really well. But if you make a mistake, you're not going to be able to get it off very easily. So for using this, I would definitely make sure you kind of feel more confident, especially if it's something that you don't want to have to redo again. Just because getting it off, you really, really have to rub pretty hard to get this one off. On top of that, also, if you are putting it on white like this background, sometimes the carbon paper will leave like kind of like a residue. So I have had it before where I've had to kind of either do a little bit of white over, or just, like I said, try to rub it off as best as I can. But what I like about it is it's the fastest way if I'm kind of in a hurry, because I just put the stencil down, put the carbon paper under, and I trace it. So I'm just going to show you kind of how it looks when I do that. Now, because I have a 4-foot sign here, I have a quote that says, "You and me and our three." What I would normally do is I would make sure that the first, if I'm going in a straight line, that the first word is spaced evenly. I'm just going to show you from here to here, and then the last one all the way down there is spaced evenly, like the last word, and then I would put all the ones in between in evenly. So that's the best way. I usually take a measuring tape and I measure it to make sure. So for the carbon paper, what I like to do is I'll tape down my letter or my word wherever I want it. So kind of, she wants a straight line, pretty centered, nothing too crazy. So I feel like that's pretty good. And then I'm just going to tape it down up here. And you don't want to tape it all around because you're going to slide your carbon paper underneath. So when I do that, you just can lift up this part here. And this can work for pictures too. So if you are using like graphics online, like clip art or anything like that, this will work for that too. So what's good about this is, once you've taped it down and you place this under, when it lays back down where it is naturally, that's where you wanted it. Okay. And then you're just going to take a pen and you're just going to trace around. You're going to want to make sure that there's like a shiny part and then there's like this dull part here. You want the dull part up. I remember the first time I used this, I traced everything out and then I had it upside down. It's like, oh, okay. Didn't do that right. And then you're just going to trace how you want it here. Now for this sign, I wouldn't really recommend, because it's white, using the carbon paper. I'm going to actually finish off the rest with my second method. But then I'm just going to follow this here. I'm not going to put that in. You kind of choose whatever you trace is what's going to end up on there, right? So if the computer program you're using doesn't get it exact, you can just go in with your own. There's a couple letters and words I had to fix up a bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect. If you're working with wood, a lot of the times it's not even underneath, so you'll end up getting squiggly lines. But this is just a rough outline anyways. We're going to paint it. So now the upside to having something like the Cricut, I guess, would be when you lay down your stencil, you just paint over top of it and then your wording is done. This is more of a freehand painting, even though you're stenciling it. So when I bring it to my parties, I like this method because you stenciled it, but you still freehand painted it. At the end of the day, you feel accomplished. You feel like your best efforts went into it because it was something you truly did freehand, even though you did stencil it. Okay, so now when I remove this, and this here, you'll see that it's very clear to see. I know it's backwards to you, but you get the idea. So that would be the one method. It's easy because it already exists. You just grab this and you go. Now, what I like to do most of the time, I have never brought carbon paper to my paint parties. I usually use the second method, just because of the reason that if anyone makes a mistake, it is hard to get rid of. So I'm going to move down here a bit since the sign is so huge. And I'm going to do this next word and here. So for this one here, I'm going to use the chalk method. So I have a whole bunch of pretty chalks. If you are working with dark wood, then you're going to want to use a white or a pretty light chalk. If you are working with white like I am, I'm going to use a colored chalk. The only colored chalk I don't recommend is the brightest red. It's not even this one. This one's just pink. I don't think I have any left. Because that you have a very hard time getting that off of white. Like even when you wipe it. Any other color in here, as soon as you wipe it with a damp cloth after your paint's dry, it's going to disappear. So, and very simply. So I'm going to take, I have my word and I'm going to flip it over on the back with my chalk, and I'm going to just put chalk where the letters are. Now, the downside to this is sometimes it's hard to see the chalk. That's true, and it takes longer. That's truly really the only two downsides that I find to this. But if you're just sitting there anyways, I guess length of time doesn't matter. And once you get used to it, it's not really that bad. So you just basically turned this paper into a carbon paper, which is what I just did. Like I said, the only difference is this is going to come off so easy if you do make a mistake to redo it, or even afterwards if you wipe it down. So you're going to place it down the same way that you did the other one. Just kind of however you want it. And then when you're done, you're going to tape it. If you're watching, say hi, and I can say hi back. Okay. So that is taped down. This, if you want to tape it down a little better, you can. I don't really, sometimes I don't even tape it down just because I'm used to doing it. I've done it like 1,000 times now, but if you want to make sure it's really in place, you can tape it down, and you're going to do the exact same thing. So you're going to take your pen and you're just going to trace it like you did the other word with carbon paper. Is anybody else getting a storm tonight? I see like it's raining here. My hydro hasn't gone out yet, which is awesome for Essex because usually like if the wind blows, if you go outside and breathe, your hydro's out in Essex. So, I was like, please don't let my hydro go in Essex tonight. My husband's at work and I want to watch TV. I don't want to be bored. Can't read books if my hydro's out. Can't do nothing. Okay. So we're just tracing it. Like I said, don't worry if it's not 100%. You're going to paint it anyways. This is just a guideline. And then when I lift this up, you will see, okay, now obviously you can see it's harder to see, but I'm pretty sure, if you can see it, give me a thumbs up. I'm pretty sure I can see it in there. But that is another really simple method. So also, if you tend to push down a bit harder when you are tracing, you will leave a little dent in the wood. So if for some reason your stencil does turn out hard to see, you can always kind of see the dent in the light. I've done that many times where I don't feel like re-stenciling, so I just kind of look at the dent and go by that. But both are very effective methods. Both are pretty quick and easy. And what's great about this is that you can create anything you want online. So if you're not reselling it, then you don't have to worry too much about copywriting or anything like that. I have to be a little more careful because I do, hi mom, I see you're watching. I have to be a little more careful because I sell stuff, so I don't want to copyright anything because I don't want to get in trouble. But say you just want a project for yourself at home and you're hanging it up, you can go online. You can really even look up any quote you want. Even if you just say like quote clip art, and then if you just go into Microsoft Works and copy and paste it in there, you can make it any size you want. Now I'm not going to get into that too much tonight. That would be another video, but really the sky's the limit with this, because if you have an idea, it's definitely on the internet because everything is, and you can just go crazy with your idea. You can combine stuff. There's so many like paint parties where I've gotten ideas offline, and then what I'll do is I have some fonts that I bought, so I have commercial rights to them, but that same with some certain clip arts. I've bought tons of clip art, so things like that you can just go in. Like I said, if you're not selling it, then it doesn't matter, but go in, you can, let's say you wanted to look up a pineapple. So pineapple clip art, put it in Microsoft Works, and then you want to add some font, just with a text box. And that, like I said, that'll be another video, but you can do really anything. You can scale it to size. Like I said, right now I am making a 7 by 4 foot sign, and I did it all with Microsoft Works, which came with my computer program. Like, it was a program that came with my computer. So I spent zero money on it, and I've done 2 years. I've been in business for 2 years now. I've never changed the way I've done it. There probably is people out there who have spent more money and have a quicker way, but if you're just looking for a simple DIY that's cost effective, or you even want to host your own little paint party with your friends, then this is the way to go. But yeah, so there's that. So we went over the paintings that we're going to be doing virtually. Those two are going to be free. I'm not sure how often I'm going to be doing the free ones, when I'm going to start charging again. I'm just trying to do free ones because of the situation everybody's in right now. I want people to still have an outlet and to have a way to have fun and just kind of relax. So generally, when I do paint parties out of the house, they're anywhere from $30 to $40 a person. But for this right now, for virtual, I'm just doing free. But when I do start charging and people can come in and they can, have a full virtual paint party, it's going to be cheap. It'll be like maybe $15 a person, because most of the time you'll be getting your own supplies. Of course, I could get them for you, but there would just be more of a charge. So, but that's in the future. I'm not worried about that yet. So anyways, that's 2 easy ways we went over for the carbon paper and with the chalk method. I will post this video if you want to watch it again, if you want to get creative one day this week or next week and you want to try it out. But yeah, let me know under this video if you did try it out, or send something that you did, and I would love to see it. But I guess that's it for tonight. I also have a couple new door hanger art kits that I'm working on. I guess I could show, I only got one done, but I'll show you a picture of one. And then the other one isn't finished yet, but then I have a couple for Canada Day that I want to do too. But this is one. So this is like a melting popsicle with a little bow on top. So in this one, everything would come available to make this exactly the same way that you see it here. But yeah, there's that one, and then I'm going to have a watermelon as well. But I think that's it for tonight. So everybody enjoy your night, and thanks for watching. And if you're watching the replay, just put replay down for me just so I know. Thanks so much. Have a good night. Bye.